What were the biggest, the most sensational archaeological discoveries of 2023? We have some sad stories, some remarkable objects, lost cities, lost structures, magic, and a couple of finds that fall into the oldest category. Without further ado, I'm Anna. I have a PhD in archaeology, and this is my official objective and subjective list of the best stories archaeology had to offer last year. We'll start on a positive note with my personal favorite from the oldest category. The oldest sculpture ever! The oldest sculpture in the world was found in 2023. Urfa man is out and Karahan Tepe man is in. Yay! This 11,400 years old 2.3 meters tall stone sculpture of a man in a sitting position was found in a pre-pottery Neolithic site of Karahan Tepe in Turkey. It has prominent facial features, hairstyle, beard, visible ribs, hands and phallus. And it looks like this man has seen better days. He just doesn't look healthy. He looks a bit dead. He probably represented an ancestor, someone respected and important. This statue was a part of a scene of a sort. In the center of the scene, embedded in the wall of the enclosure wall between two large T-shaped pillars, there was a giant circular stone with a hole. Under it, slightly to the right, there was a vulture statue, and on the right side of that statue was this man. Additionally, in front of these statues, a carved stone plate was placed on the floor. Still, I prefer the Urfa man. Why? He has obsidian eyes. They are shiny and I love shiny things. Now we move on to a pretty sad story. A Roman prison bakery from Pompeii. Here, slaves and blindfolded donkeys lived in horrible conditions, and their only function was to grind grains into flour for bread. They worked on these rotary mills day in, day out, moving in circles until they collapsed. They had no contact with the outside world. There was just one tiny window with iron bars that provided some light. This is just heartbreaking. Imagine those poor people and animals cramped in that room working non-stop. Devastating. This is that ugly side of Rome that we often neglect, instead focusing on lavish lifestyle of the elite. Moving on to something more mysterious. Fear of the Roman walking dead. A grave of a potential revenant in Sagalassos in Turkey. The community really made sure that this man would never be able to harm or haunt the living. After his death, the man was cremated, as was the custom, but then 31 deformed nails were scattered around the remains of the body and 24 bricks were laid over the still smoldering fire. After that, everything was covered with quicklime. We had a video about this, so if you're interested in the full story, go to the link on top of the corner. It will appear somewhere now. So all of these precautions were made to form a physical and magical barrier between the deceased and the world of the living. And he probably died in some mysterious or violent way, as a result of some curse, a contagious disease, or he was murdered. Whatever the case was, they really wanted to pin him down to his grave. We also have this beautiful, fully preserved 3,000 years old bronze sword. It was found in a grave on a necropolis in southern Bavarian town Nordlingen. It still shines like it was placed there just yesterday. It represents a true work of art and shows the level of craftsmanship and skill the Bronze Age people of the region had some 1,400 years BC. Now we are going back to the Roman Empire, and this time we are visiting the city of Rome, where Nero's theater was found. For almost 2000 years it was known from the written sources, but it was found only recently near Vatican. Here's the deal. Emperor Nero thought that he was excellent singer, performer, actor, that he was a true virtuoso on musical instruments. He wasn't. He was actually delusional, but he loved to perform, and not in his palace for his friends, families. He loved to perform in front of an audience, a large audience. But he was also dedicated, so he had to practice, and he practiced in his theater. Because he was megalomaniac, the theater could not have been a simple structure. It had to be lavish and extravagant. See all of these beautiful columns, frescoes on the walls. There were marble sculptures, wall decorations in marble and gold foil, pure luxury. Let's go to Egypt to see what we have there. Two impressive mummification workshops for humans and animals were found in Saqqara near Cairo. These workshops were from the 30th dynasty and the Ptolemaic period. The first workshop had several rooms with large stone beds used for the mummification. The beds also had drains that carried the water during the washing of the body. Also, tools used to dissect bodies and remove internal organs, together with the canopic jars used to store the internal organs, were located in this workshop. The lids of the canopic jars signaled which organ was stored in which jar. The lids were in shape of the sons of Horus. Baboon Hapi was in charge of the lungs, Imseti man protected the liver, Duamutef jackal was the keeper of the stomach, and Quebecsenuf falcon guarded the intestines. The second workshop was dedicated to the mummification of the sacred animals. In this workshop, 5 stone beds, different from those found in the human embalming workshop, were found together with clay pots and animal mummies. We are visiting Bay of Naples again, but we are moving to a different location. An incredible discovery was made in Pozzuoli, ancient Puteoli, and that was a Nabatean temple. And why is it so important? Because it shouldn't exist in Italy. This was a Roman town, but now it is mostly underwater, and Nabateans lived in Jordan and Saudi Arabia. They were a desert tribe of traders and merchants who lived on the eastern outskirts of the Roman Empire until the 4th century AD. They were the middleman between the Romans and communities in the east that had access to luxury goods like silk, incense, and spices. By controlling the passages through the deserts of the Arabian Peninsula, Nabateans gained their fortune. And it was quite a fortune. You know them, I'm sure. Petra in Jordan, Hagra in Saudi Arabia. Rings a bell? Yeah, those were the Nabateans. They were the desert people, and they were not known as skilled sailors, so what were they doing so far from their homeland? Puteoli was an extremely important port, and Nabateans certainly wanted to build trust and make lasting connections with the locals. They depended on them. So they built a temple on a prime location within the city where they could make deals with the locals under the protection of their gods, conduct ceremonies, practice their faith, and advertise their services. Yes. 2 altars from this temple were found. The inscriptions were in Latin, and they confirmed that the temple was dedicated to the god Dushara. Moving again to the oldest category. The oldest wooden structure was discovered near Kalambo Falls in Zambia. And it is 476,000 years old. Almost 500,000 years. Incredible. Amazing. 2 logs were cut and chopped with stone tools. They were also joined by a notch. It may have been a part of a wooden platform or a base for a shelter. This demonstrates the level of skill early hominins before Homo sapiens had. Surrounding forest and waterfall provided permanent food and water supply, so the members of this community may have not been that nomadic as it was previously thought. Now, probably my second favorite discovery of the year, Roman makeup shop. It was located in Aizonoi in Turkey, which was an important political and economic center in the Roman Empire. In this 2000-year-old Sephora, a bunch of different beauty products were found, including this amazing, fully preserved pink blush. Also, fragments of 10 different shades of pink and red blushes were found. Amazing range of shades that can put to shame a lot of modern makeup brands. You could also buy eyeshadows in this shop. And makeup packaging was even more luxurious than today. It was sold in shells. Dior and Chanel could never. And that is not all. Here you could get your favorite perfume, jewelry and hair accessories like these hairpins. Roman ladies could just go there and get everything they needed to feel beautiful, if they could afford it. And the last item on our list, Lost Mayan City in Mexico. Sounds like a plot for an Indiana Jones film. The city was named Octomun and it is located on the Yucatan Peninsula. The archaeologists used LiDAR airborne laser scanning technology that can pass through even thick forests and scan the ground, and they got incredible results. A whole new city emerged. Then they went through the jungle to examine the site. The city had altars, 3 plazas, a court for the ancient Mayan ball game, and at least 3 pyramids. All of this would suggest that this was probably a pretty important city back in the day. They also found cylindrical columns scattered throughout the settlement, and it was dated between 600 and 800 years AD. These were our top 10 picks for the greatest archaeological discoveries of 2023. Write down in the comments which one of these was your favorite. And as always, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, share, send to all, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!